Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. It's your boy Richie, and today we'll be recapping the Grizzlies-Knicks game that just got wrapped up. The Knicks fall to the Grizzlies, and man, what a rough game to watch because the Knicks are clawing their way back, fighting their way back all the way until the very last second, and it just felt like pretty much everything went the Grizzlies' way tonight. They're definitely a big-time threat in the Western Conference. Ja Morant is definitely looking like, a superstar like we all knew. But tonight's game, I got a lot to talk about in today's recap video because I just felt like nothing went our way tonight. I feel like there's nothing really more that the Knicks could have done to fight their way back because the amount of times, and I'll get into it in the stream, that the New York Knicks had an opportunity to just grab a loose ball, grab a rebound, and then it ends up being right into the Grizzlies' laps that turns into a three-pointer that just absolutely blows the doors open was mind-boggling. It wasn't once. It wasn't twice. It just felt like whenever there was a loose ball that the Knicks definitely should have got, it somehow just went right to the Grizzlies into a wide-open three-pointer, and they drill it, and the Knicks always cut it to 5, they cut it to 6, and then that happens, and it's just deflating, then it goes right back up to double digits, and the Knicks just fell short to a Memphis Grizzlies team that are definitely legit. I mean, they're the third seed in the Western Conference. We saw a big-time performance from some individual players on the New York Knicks, like Evan Fournier was dominant today. Mitchell Robinson was an absolute monster in the paint. RJ Barrett had a great game as well, but the Knicks do fall short. It doesn't really matter who plays well in the court if you don't really get the W's. So really unfortunate. But guys, welcome into the stream. Hope you guys are enjoying your night. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up on your way in here if you guys did not already, and subscribe to the channel, of course, if you're new. Let's get into the chat. Let's see what everyone's thinking about tonight's game, man. Very weird game, very odd game. Definitely something I'm not used to. It just feels like we had a chance to win, and they just did not get it to go, man. Knicks cut it to 5 with that 3 and the costly turnovers. That's the thing, man. The Knicks really looked like they were going to fight back. I felt like it was going to be a game. They would cut it to 5 points, and then all of a sudden, the ball just somehow slips out of our hands, and it looks like we should get the ball, but it goes right to a wide open three-pointer from the Grizzlies. It felt like that happened over and over and over again. Mitch just had 14 points, 11 boards, and 8 blocks. That's insane, bro. I love Mitch. Couldn't agree more, Luke. Mitchell Robinson continues to be one of my favorite players. That's my twin. We have the same exact birthday. Not only just the same birthday, but the same exact year. And that's actually coming up April 1st, 1998. So when it's Mitchell Robinson's birthday, it's my birthday too. Don't you guys forget. But Will, I agree. The defense absolutely was atrocious tonight. There's no sugarcoating that. That needs to be fixed. I don't know what the case may be. I mean, the defense did zero in the beginning of that fourth quarter with the bench, especially with Quentin Grimes and that entire bench, with Burks and Quickly and Nerlens. They've really gotten to a good rhythm defensively, forcing turnovers, running down the court, getting easy buckets. But then when the starters came in, it just wasn't really good. And I think it's time to talk about something, guys, that is kind of ass, but you got to bring it up. Kemba Walker has absolutely no value on this team. Kemba Walker is not doing anything productive. What did he have? 0 points again? Another donut for Kemba? Let's put the stats up on the board real quick. Let's see what the stats look like tonight. So here's the box score, guys. Let's get into the box score. So Kemba Walker, back-to-back games with 0 points. If you're a starting point guard for the New York Knicks and you get 0 points, and you also are not a good defender, therefore you have absolutely no impact on the game whatsoever, we might have to be going back to either finding a trade partner for Kemba or basically taking him out of the rotation. I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense, man. Kemba Walker, you know what I would do? And I feel like some of you guys would agree. Maybe we trade Kemba, or if we don't, we benched him before. You bench Kemba. I love what I saw from Manuel quickly off the bench today. I know that he's having a rough sophomore season. He's having a sophomore season slump, but I'd rather have IQ slide into that point guard spot because do you want to know why? The reason why I would do this is because Deuce McBride would slide in and be the come off the bench with Grimes and with Obi and with hopefully Cam Reddish when some type of move that happens. We need to start playing the kids. I mean, you see what Deuce McBride's doing? Did you see what he did last night? Deuce McBride put up 39 points for the second time in the G League. He does not belong down there. He deserves minutes in the NBA right now. I'm making that move. I mean, you can't, persuade me saying that Kemba Walker deserves to play. He has no impact. Even though if quickly shots not falling, he still plays, a high energy on the defensive side of the ball that I really like about Quickly. If his shot's not falling, it's a good facilitator. I know that he's not having a great season this year, but that moves more for me getting deuce minutes than anything else. If you guys agree, we'll see. But if not, I understand. I don't understand why Cam can't get Kemba's minutes. I agree, man. The only thing with that, Cam Reddish and Kemba, they don't play the same position. So if you take Kemba out of the rotation, then who's the starting point guard? You know what I mean? Like, do you slide in IQ there and then you just bring Cam in off the bench? Maybe that's the case. And then who's the point guard off the bench? Burks? I don't know. My thing would be trade Burks, because I'm kind of over Burks, guys. I'm not going to lie. Alec Burks, he had a great game the other game, and I think he didn't get any second half minutes. He did not, actually. Shout out to Thibodeau for that, because Alec Burks was off tonight. When he got into the game, he had a minus 17. Alec Burks was just all over the place tonight, forcing up crazy shots, and I'm really happy that Tom Thibodeau actually did not give him any minutes in the second half, because he was driving me crazy. If I'm the New York Knicks, I'm looking to trade Alec Burks and Kemba Walker. Do we keep Evan Fournier, guys? I mean, what is Evan Fournier doing? I mean, what he's doing right now is boosting that trade value, obviously, but I don't know. Evan Fournier is the best three-point shooter in the month of January, so it's kind of hard to want to give up on Evan Fournier. He's very streaky. I understand that. But Alec Burks and Kemba, if you replace those two guys with Cam Reddish and Deuce McBride, who doesn't want to do that? You know what I mean? Let me just rephrase it. You replace Kemba Walker with Emmanuel Quickly in the starting rotation, and you replace Alec Burks with Cam Reddish off the bench, and then you slide in Deuce McBride to fill in for IQ's role off the bench. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. So let's get into the stats more often, what happened tonight. Evan Fournier, 11 of 18 from the field, 8 of 12 from downtown. Are you kidding me? 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. 30 points for Evan Fournier. We might have to start talking about keeping Evan Fournier, because he's been killing it as of late. He deserves credit. I know that Knicks fans are very critical of him. I know that Knicks fans don't like him being on the Knicks. But when he's hot, man, you got to get him some shots up, because he's somebody that the Knicks might have to keep long term. I mean, he has a fairly good deal for the New York Knicks. I'm not really upset by paying him $18.5 million. Or maybe the trade value is boosting up and they're going to trade him. Who knows? But the man of the night outside of Fournier, for me personally, that's Mitchell Robinson. I know that we lost this game and it's really frustrating, and I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of the game, but we got to start talking about Mitchell Robinson, man. Does he deserve an extension? Because I do think so. Mitchell Robinson had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 blocks. 8 blocks? You're joking me. Mitchell Robinson has been an absolute menace. I put money on him actually tonight on him getting a double-double. That was easy money. Thank you, Mitchell Robinson. But, man, he deserves, the one thing that's going to determine Mitchell Robinson being extended or not on the Knicks, in my opinion, is if he can continue this for the rest of the season and stay healthy. I think that's number one. I think that the Knicks are not going to commit money to Mitchell Robinson until he can prove to stay in shape and stay on the floor and not get injured. And if he can continue what he's been doing for the past month or so by staying on the floor and playing at this level, I personally feel like he deserves being extended, because he's about to turn 24 years old and he's entering the prime of his career. And I feel like the best is yet to come from Mitchell Robinson, me personally. But getting back into the game without talking about the individual players, guys, I feel like the Knicks showed a lot of heart tonight, and they showed a lot of grit in terms of digging their way out of it. Obviously, we have to get rid of that bad start. The first quarter, we always feel like we go down by 10-plus points right out of the gate, and then we're trying to claw our way back up, and it feels like we're just fighting from the mud throughout the entire game. That needs to be cleaned up big time. No matter, I think that's the starters, to be honest. Kemba Walker being a point guard, putting up 0 points is not helping at all. But I just feel like this Memphis Grizzlies team, they're legit, man. They're 36-18. Ja Morant's a superstar. They got players all across that roster that it's just fit into the system beautifully. And nothing just went our way tonight. And sometimes that happens. And I'm not making any excuses, but it just felt like tonight was just not meant to be for whatever reason. I mean, how many times tonight, guys. The Knicks fight their way back. We got Emmanuel quickly, 7 straight points in literally 10 seconds, and then it follows up with a couple turnovers. But what I'm trying to say is how many times did the Knicks claw their way back? The momentum's all on our side, and then we're on defense. We play phenomenal defense for like 20 seconds on the shot clock. We poke the ball free, and it looks like we're about to get a shot. It looks like we're about to get a stop. But then somehow the ball just goes into a Grizzlies' hand in the corner, and he just drills a 3, and it just sucks the life out of you. That didn't happen once tonight. That happened like 5 different times. That was annoying. Absolutely annoying. So let's get into the chat, see what you guys have to say. Sports Film Production, I love your content. I'm a huge Knicks fan. Thank you so much, my man. I appreciate the support. Not easy going live during Knicks losses, but I love talking to you guys. I love hearing what you guys have to say. Luke says, trade Randall, trade Burks. We don't need him. Trade Noel. He gets hurt every other game. I love Kemba, but he's got to go, bro. He really does. We have until February 10th to make trades. Yep, next week is the trade deadline. Luke is over half the team. He wants all the veterans off the team. Cameron says, Knicks are not keeping Mitchell Robinson. They never keep players that they draft. This is a new regime, man. This is a completely new regime in Leon Rose. I would not, just say continue the narrative that the Knicks don't keep players that they draft based on the previous regimes like Steve Mills and Phil Jackson, all those guys. I feel like we have a smarter front office. They have a long-term vision for this team, and they better extend RJ Barrett this year because he's eligible for an extension. But when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I honestly hope you're wrong, Cameron. I really do, because I want Mitchell Robinson here long-term for sure. Kane says, run the offense through Fournier. Treat him like Curry. He's been shooting better than him at the moment. He has been. I mean, Evan Fournier, to this moment, is the best three-point shooter in the year of 2022. That is a fact. That is not what I'm trying to say. That's a fact. That's not me making it up. Ali's in the chat. Yo, Richie, if you want to do a live tomorrow, let me know. I can fit it in. Yeah, man. What time? Can you do a live sometime tomorrow during the day, or are you busy, Ali? Let me know. Shoot me a text. Definitely want to get you on the channel to talk some Senior Bowl. Don't bring Kemba on the West Coast trip. I agree, Joshua. He has back-to-back donuts. You kidding me? So, guys, the trade deadline is next week. I got a lot of fun stuff on the channel for you guys. I'm going to be live the day of the trade deadline. I think the deadline's at 3 o'clock on Thursday. I'll be live at 1. We'll be live for 2 hours beforehand, talk about all speculations of what the hell the Knicks are going to do. Maybe we make a move beforehand, or maybe we could make a move at the buzzer right before the trade deadline, because it's obvious that something needs to change, because the current rotation that we have right now is just not working, and the schedule is about to get absolutely brutal to the point where I don't want to see Alec Burks go into the paint and chuck up crazy layups off the bench. I don't know about you guys, and I also don't want to see Kemba Walker just put up nothing. I mean, he has no impact, absolutely no impact on this Knicks team, because, like, you know what Kemba Walker's becoming? But obviously the play style is completely different, but he's becoming Elfrid Payton. And what I mean by that, he's getting the Elfrid Payton treatment from Tibbs. Because if you remember last year, Elfrid Payton, the only minutes he would get was the beginning of the game, and then he'd be subbed out for the rest of the first half, and then be back in for like the last 4 minutes of the second quarter. And then he'll be starting the third quarter for like 5-6 minutes, and then he'll be done for the rest of the game. That's kind of what Kemba Walker's doing right now. I don't understand why they don't just bench him. Maybe Thibodeau is kind of like worried about the backlash, because you guys remember the Knicks benched Kemba, and it was just a really big deal in the media, and they made it such a big deal. But if I'm the Knicks, I make the move. I don't really care what the outside noise is. It's time to play the kids, man. Deuce McBride, Cam Reddish. Those two deserve to be in the rotation with Quentin Grimes and with Obi and with RJ, man. It's true. It's true. Randall had an all right game, nearly a triple-double. Come on, Knicks fans, let's be real. He's not going no way. And shout out to Evan, killing it tonight. And Mitch nearly triple-double with blocks. He almost had a triple-double with blocks, bro. Absolutely insane. And I agree, man. Julius Randle did not have a bad game tonight. He did not have a bad game tonight, in my opinion. I mean, look at his stats. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, and 1 steal. 7 of 18 from the field. That's 50%. I know that a lot of people are are on Randall, but the one thing that I love from Randall so far in the past couple of games recently is his energy. That's something that he's been lacking this year, but the last couple of games, he's definitely been playing a little better in terms of his energy. The shots are not there. That's the big problem with Julius Randle. 1 for 6 from downtown. That needs to be fixed, obviously. But it's not like Julius Randle's not impacting the game. Putting up a near triple-double, 9 assists is really good for Julius Randle. Listen, you got to give the credit where it's due. If I had to guess, Randle's not being traded at the trade deadline. If I would put money on it, I would say Randle's not going to get traded. And Knicks fans got to understand that that's the reality here. I do not expect the Knicks front office just give up on Julius Randle after 3 months of bad play. Not saying it's the right or wrong move, but I'm just giving my prediction of what will happen. I think the Knicks will make trades elsewhere, like a Burks maybe or a Kemba. That's me being wishful thinking, but that's my prediction. I agree with this take right here. CJ versus the World says, honestly, the problem is the Knicks do not have a floor general, and it's been an issue for years. Yes, couldn't have said it better myself, my man. We have a point guard in Kemba Walker who is supposed to be that, and he's not doing it. And the problem is we're running the offense through Julius Randle, and he's trying to be the playmaker, and he's not an instinctual good playmaker. And we understand that. Some games he looks good. Most games he doesn't when it comes to, getting his teammates involved. Julius Randle is not a naturally born point forward. I think everybody understands that. We need a true floor general that can allocate the offense, organize things, and play tough-nosed defense. We have not had a point guard that can be the future of the franchise forever. My entire lifetime. That's really how I'm thinking about it. It is an issue. The Knicks got to do something, whether that's a trade deadline or this summer. They need to bring in a point guard that Knicks fans can say with confidence, this is the guy moving forward. We just don't have it. Jamal says, sorry, but I just upset the way this team is playing. This Knicks team should be better than what the record indicates. Shake my head, Richie. Jamal, I'm right there with you, man. If you guys watched my reaction to this game, not saying you could, but I was just sitting on my couch like this. Every time Jaren Jackson Jr. or some guy like that would shoot a three, I'd cover my eyes. I'm like, I don't want to watch this go in because it just sucks the life out of me. Every time I watch an opposing player hit a wide open three or something where we're fighting a way back, and I know if that three hits, it's going to be so deflating. I'm like, I don't even want to watch it because it's really sucking the life out of me. It really is. But long story short, man, tonight was a game where we went up against one of the best teams in the Grizzlies, and nothing went our way. That's what it felt like. We clawed our way back. We fought our way back. We went on runs, but the Grizzlies just showed more grip. They showed more intensity. They showed like they were the better team and the better coach team. That does suck. But shout out to RJ Barrett. You got to give him credit after having a not really good game last game. After having a phenomenal month of January, RJ Barrett finishes with 23 points to go along with 1 dime and 4 rebounds, shooting 8 of 11 from the free throw line. That's a really good positive for RJ because he has been struggling from the free throw line as of late. Listen, man, this is it's frustrating. Gideon, salute, my man. Welcome into the stream. I knew we were not going to win, even though we made some runs. Yeah, I kind of had that feeling too. I just wanted it to be closer with like the final minute or so. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with this. Gideon says, yes, we competed, but if we want to make the playoffs, we got to beat teams that are great and are better than us. New York is 8-21 versus teams above 500. Yeah, that's the problem, Gideon. You're right on the money there. CJ versus the World says there's also a lack of offense creativity from Tibbs. Rose needs to start when he comes back, and McBride should be the backup point guard. Yeah, man, that's going to be a big-time addition. Like, it's going to feel like a trade deadline acquisition just like last year when we get D Rose back. Let's hope that he's all on board and he's all healthy and he's all ready to go because I think that's a very underrated piece to the Knicks' struggles is Derrick Rose is not being here. Extending giving him a contract in the free agency to bring him back for 3 years was a big move. I think Knicks fans everywhere wanted that to happen. And we're missing D Rose desperately. Big time. Yeah, I would move on from Kemba, put D Rose as the starting point guard, and move on from Burks. Let Cam Reddish get some minutes. I want Deuce McBride some minutes, though. That's my problem. I want Deuce. Story of the Knicks. Fight back, but lose. Yeah, man. My dad always says things, and I always fight with him about it. He's like, "Oh, but at least the Knicks showed heart and they came back." I'm like, "Dad, we're way past that." Like, I'm so sick of the fake comebacks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over the fake comebacks where we be like, "Oh my God, they're gonna come back, they're gonna win." Nope, they don't win. That's happened. Feels like every game that we lost. We have to trade Randall for Fox. Salutes from wow. Shout out to Rodrigo. Appreciate the support, my man. I don't know. I just don't see Randall being traded at the deadline. I know that 99.5% of Knicks fans want that to happen. I just don't know if it will. I really genuinely don't see the Knicks front office pulling that trigger because that's a big move. I know that everyone wants that, but I don't know if it's going to happen. The trade deadline is February 10th, a week from tomorrow. Stay tuned on this channel. I'll be live on that day. Oh, yeah, this is another thing, man. Like, everything was going our way. The momentum was on our side. We get a stop. Ja Morant misses. And then Nerlens Noel and Obi Toppin tip the ball in. Like, I want to walk off camera after talking about that. That was a disgrace. Like, that was one of the most, like, in that moment, I'm like, yeah, the Knicks are going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game. No doubt. I'm just looking for my camera battery because my camera's about to die. Hold on, guys. Let me just switch my battery real quick. Don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back in literally 2 seconds. But, man, guys, let me hear your thoughts in the chat about the game. I would love to hear what you guys have to say more in depth because I'm frustrated. I'm not really as depressed or upset from this game because I kind of expected this loss. So it's not like as deflating like if we lost to a bad team. It's like, but at the same time, we need to start beating teams that are better than us if we want to be a playoff team. But as we're standing right now, if you look at the standings, which I don't even want to look at, we're nowhere close to even the play-in tournament. We're really not. It really, really stinks. Should we talk about something else besides the Knicks? I know you guys are in here for the Knicks, but should we? Anybody into Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett? Anyone watch the new episode? Nah, I'm just kidding. But listen, the Knicks game tonight really makes you wonder about the future of this organization and where they're headed. I mean, we do have a great foundation built with the young guys like RJ taking over, with the progression of Quentin Grimes as a rookie. Obi Toppin showing promise and flashes, quickly actually looking like a good player tonight. But the veterans is the problem. The veterans are the problem. But you got to give shout out to Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier has been balling out lately. And maybe this is boosting his trade value for the Knicks to flip him. Or maybe it's going to convince the front office that, you know what, Evan Fournier is not part of the problem. He's part of the solution. We need a veteran that can space the floor and create and hit his shots. I mean, he was 8 of 12. From the three-point land, man. That's crazy. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, we've seen games for Evan Fournier when he looks like better than Steph Curry, and then we see games from him when he looks like one of the worst players in the league. I agree with this. Alec Burks is becoming probably one of my least favorite players on the Knicks. I know his impact. I know last game he had a good one, but tonight, man, what drives me crazy about Burks is he feels like he has to be the number one option off the bench. Like, the ball needs to be in his hands. He needs to go to the paint and chuck up a crazy shot or crazy layup and try to, like, draw a foul or something. And you're just like, yo, like, can you give the ball to Burks? Can you give the ball to other people? Like, he's too hot and cold for me. He really is. I feel like quickly went ball hog in the fourth. 7 straight points, followed by 2 turnovers, then 0 for 3, I think, afterwards. Yeah, Eddie, IQ had that phenomenal 7-point play in the span of 15 seconds, and you felt like, all of a sudden he's going to take over the game like he did so much as a rookie. But then he had a couple turnovers, man, and very disappointing. It's true. Burks and Kemba for Brogdon. I don't know if that would get it done. That's a good idea. I don't know, though. I don't think that would happen. I felt that Burks and IQ play too much hero ball rather than trusting their teammates. Yeah, man, that's the problem sometimes. You get these individual players trying to play hero ball, and they don't realize that they got to play within and play together. And that's really the biggest frustration part of the season, man. But there's a lot of moves to be made in this coming trade deadline. We got a week to go. The Knicks defense, I think, was a big reason for the loss tonight. Alec, you got to give a shout out to Evan Fournier. You got to give a shout out to Mitchell Robinson. You got to give a shout out to RJ Barrett, even Julius Randle with a near triple double. Those 4 players contributed. Everybody else did not. And it's that simple. Mitchell Robinson, a freaking near triple double with blocks, 14, 11, and 8 blocks. Evan Fournier, 30 points, 8 to 12 from 3. RJ Barrett, 23 points. Julius Randle, almost 1 assist shy of a triple-double. We had some good individual performances tonight, but as a team, they did not get the job done. They cannot get stops when they needed to the most, and it was just beyond frustrating. Can you guys please make sure you smash that like button if you did not already? I would greatly appreciate that. We got 24 likes. Let's get to 30 likes before we end off the stream. We appreciate that big time. Raven says, I hope they try to get Zion at least as a free agent. Cam, RJ, and Zion playing at Duke together. I hope that they start playing Cam and RJ together before that even happens. Like, the thing about Zion, he's not even healthy. So I'm not really thinking about that. But in the future, sign me up. Gideon says, Evan was awesome. Randall did play hard at times. RJ had good moments, and Mitch was a beast tonight. But sadly, they didn't have help. Yeah, well said. Eddie says, Knicks are not doing anything with Randall before the trade deadline. Strap your boots. He's with us for the rest of the season, regardless of outcome. Yep, Eddie, this is what I'm trying to say. Not saying it's the right or wrong move, but if I had to guess, Julius Randle's not going anywhere. And he's here with the Knicks. And he's going to try to end off the season on a high note and try to get back to the ways he was playing last year. Randall passes the ball too much to be our best player. Yeah, the thing about Julius Randle is he leads the team in points, assists, and rebounds, which is pretty crazy. And the offense needs to be ran through him, according to the coaching staff and according to him, I guess. I don't feel like he needs to. But I do want to see Randall be more aggressive because last year it was a perfect balance of Randall, like, just getting to his spots. It was automatic. Like, what happened to that mid-range game from Julius? You know what I mean? Like, that mid-range game from Randall last year was basically automatic. He gets to the spot on the baseline. You know what? I know what the difference is. Last year, defenses were not double teaming him. They did not know that Randall was a good player, or they didn't think he was. And then he got one-on-ones, and he was just dominating them every single night. Well, now, if you realize the defenses are now honing in on Julius Randle as he's our number one option, they're double teaming him. They're shadowing him on the baseline where they're not allowing him to get comfortable, which forces Julius Randle to pass the ball. And that's not any excuses. I'm not saying Randall needs to be that's not saying Randall will never be good because of the double teams. But what I'm trying to say is he does not handle the double teams well. He does not handle being a number one option well. He does not handle the pressure of it. He cannot handle the responsibility of it. And I think that's pretty obvious. We need another player on this team that draws all the attention. Now free up Julius Randle, because you guys need to realize that Julius Randle is a good basketball player. I just feel like he's not there mentally right now. I feel like the whole New York market is not working out for Julius, man. And that sucks. As a New York fan my whole life, I'm just realizing that maybe a big reason why all 3 of these teams that you see here suck my whole life is maybe because it's really just hard to win in New York. I don't know. What else would it be? But guys, we have so much to talk about leading up into the trade deadline on this channel. So if you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you guys are new, of course, to the stream. We just have to realize that this season is definitely not living up to the expectations. Unfortunately, that is the reality that everyone understands now. But I don't know, man. A lot of change needs to happen. If I'm the Knicks, if I was the front office, and if I was a GM, hey, I'm not, saying I'm qualified or anything, but I'd get rid of veterans like Kemba Walker and Alec Burks. and maybe Evan Fournier because his value's up right now. But I consider keeping Fournier. He's kind of growing on me, not gonna lie. And I don't even want to give up Kemba and Burks for like anybody crazy. Like I don't even care. Just like take him away, take them off the team because we're obviously not going to the playoffs this year with them. So and then let Cam Reddish play because I will say this, man, because this is what really drives me crazy. And there better be a plan. There better be a plan because this is a big time issue if this is the reality. Because if this is, and I'm going to get to it, you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. If what I'm about to say is the truth, then there actually is miscommunication and dysfunction between the front office and the coaches. And that's Cam Reddish. The New York Knicks traded for Cam Reddish. They gave up Kevin Knox. They gave up a protected first-round pick. And he's not in the rotation. If Cam Reddish continues to not be in the rotation post-trade deadline, we have a huge problem on our hands. Big-time problem on our hands. Why do we trade for Cam Reddish if he's not in the rotation? Are they planning for next year? I don't know what it is, but they cannot trade a first-round pick for a player that's not going to be in the rotation and they're just waiting for an injury to happen. So what I'm trying to say is if the front office feels like Cam Reddish should be playing and coach is like, no, he's not playing, that's an issue. There's a reason why the front office traded for him. Maybe, the only thing that I can say that hopefully this isn't a reality is maybe they have a plan. The Knicks front office understands the reason why they traded for Cam Reddish so early is so that it can be here, practice with the team for a couple weeks before he gets in the rotation. They got a couple weeks leading up until the trade deadline. They'll make a couple moves to give Cam Reddish an opportunity to be in the rotation. And then post-trade deadline, Cam will be officially part of the 10-man rotation off the bench. If that's the reality, then okay, that's a plan. I understand it. That's a great idea, actually. Giving Cam Reddish a couple weeks to practice with the team, understand everyone's tendencies, and then you throw him out there. But if we make no moves at the deadline that gives Cam Reddish a chance to play, we got a big problem on our hands. Big time. And that's a very unfortunate reality that I do not hope happens because I do not want to talk about that on this channel because it's a nightmare, man. You can't trade for a player in Cam Reddish and not play the guy at all. Like, he's not even in the rotation. Kemba Walker does not deserve to be here. This is exactly what I'm saying, man. I don't know if you were here in the beginning of the stream, bro, but to start off the stream, this is what I said. This is what I would do. You trade Kemba Walker or you bench Kemba. I don't even care. And then you trade Alec Burks, right? Those two players gone. You start quickly at point guard. You elevate Deuce McBride to take over as the point guard off the bench. And then Cam Reddish replaces Alec Burks off the bench. Yes, I know that Quickly has not had a good season, but I do still trust in Quickly, and I do like his playmaking ability and his defense. I know that his shooting is very sporadic, but what that does is it frees up Deuce McBride because you guys see what Deuce McBride's doing. You guys are witnessing what Deuce McBride is doing in the damn G League. This man does not deserve to be down there. He's going down there and he's looking at these little boys and he's like, yo, why am I down here again? Balls out. 39 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 threes. Do that twice. Deuce McBride should be in the rotation as a rookie. Like, it really, really frustrates me that we have players on this roster that's not being developed. I mean, you could say I'm very happy that the Knicks are setting Deuce down because that is good development from them. They understand he's not in the rotation. Let's show him some, live action and give him some time. And I understand that there are players in the rotation that's ahead of him, and he has to earn his way as a rookie. But if we're not making the playoffs, I'm not saying tank. I'm saying play the young players to develop. You know what I mean? And that includes Deuce. The vets are not getting it done. Exactly. That's the issue. That is the issue. The Knicks have a major problem in both management and coaching, and obviously the players. When the front office likes a player after one season, they flood money on them, and Tibbs refuses to expand. This is an interesting take. I understand you're talking about Randall, about flooding money. I think the front office has shown to be good at drafting. I love the picks of Obi and Quickly and Quentin Grimes and Deuce. But the free agent acquisitions have been a little lackluster. But that's also because that's what the market presents them. It's really hard. The free agent market's not easy. But the veterans are just not clicking. That's why we don't need to worry about future picks. We have enough young talent to build. What are we going to do? Keep drafting? Well, the thing is, you do want to hold on to your picks because you want to continue to build through the draft. But at the same time, you do want to make sure you're not, you do want to make sure you have a plan. And if there is a player that comes available, we have the capital to get it done. We did trade a first-round pick for Kevin Knox. We traded Kevin Knox and our first-round pick for Cam Reddish. So that could be something. That's just an idea that the Knicks are definitely going to be trading some of their picks. Also, management is too quiet and doesn't see the issues with the roster. Roster is flawed. Yeah, man, the trade deadline is going to really tell the story about what this front office is doing. If they make no moves and they're just sitting back and nobody's moved, we got a big problem. Also, Tibbs is a good coach, but sometimes he needs to be open-minded and make adjustments. Yeah, I think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. I think everyone needs to understand that he's not a bad coach. I know that a lot of people are over Thibodeau. I mean, this man won NBA Coach of the Year with the Knicks last year, so please don't forget about that. But listen, I feel like Tom Thibodeau needs to make adjustments, and I agree. Trey owns y'all. Not this year, bro. You could live last year, live in the past, right? Live in the playoffs. Cool. We own the Atlanta Hawks this year. I don't care if it's in the regular season. Let them know. Trae Young, don't own us. I was down in Atlanta, and I witnessed the New York Knicks defeat the Atlanta Hawks in person, and I started an R.J. Barrett chant, and all of a sudden in State Farm Arena, the entire arena was chanting for the Knicks and not even their home team, the Atlanta Hawks. That stinks for them. What does everyone see in Obi? He isn't a good defender, doesn't really have any post moves. He's just a dunker. Please explain it to me. Listen, Obi Toppin, I feel like you don't really get to, you know what I mean? Obi Toppin is a player where he is reliant on a playmaker to get him involved, like a point guard. But I do feel like Obi Toppin has not got the opportunity to really flourish because of his limited minutes. He goes out there for 5 minutes, he gets yanked out. 7 minutes, yanked out. He never gets a chance to get in rhythm. Obi Toppin is an explosive athlete. He also shows flashes of being able to put the ball on the floor and dribble and cross you up. I'm not saying he's an elite ball handler, but we've seen this year where he has the ball, and when he gets aggressive, he puts the ball on the floor and he makes a nice move and he finishes at the rim. I think he's way more than just a high flyer. I think that Obi Toppin's game needs to be expanded on, but the Knicks are just not really giving him a chance because Julius Randle is ahead of him. That's my thoughts on that. How do you think New York does in their 5-game road trip? Gideon, how do you want me? Two questions. Do you want me to answer this on how I hope they will be or how I think they will be? Because those are two different questions. I'm hoping that they can win 3 of the 5, but they'll probably win 1 of the 5 at the rate that they're playing. Unless something goes crazy. I do think the Knicks have a chance to steal a couple of these games. I think that we could beat the Lakers. It's not going to be easy. We proved to be a pretty good road team this year. So, hey, maybe we steal a couple of those games. Realistically, they're probably going to win 2 of the 5. Hopeful thinking they can win 3 of the 5. I think that'll be a positive. We need D-Rose back desperately indeed, bro. D-Rose is – we're missing him. We're missing D-Rose. He was such a big piece of this team last year, man. I say we beat the Lakers and Blazers, but we lose to the Jazz, Nuggets, and Warriors. Yeah, I agree, man. I think we're going to win 2 of the 5. I believe if we trade Randall, that's going to set a terrible image of our organization, and we will continue to miss out on superstars like we always do. I agree. This is why I don't think it's going to happen. Like everyone's saying, like trade Randall. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it is a bad look if you guys think about it. It's a very bad look if the New York Knicks gave someone a big-time extension in the summer, handed them the keys, and said, we're going to build around you. We're going to surround you with stars. And then in the first 3 months into the extension, they say, yeah, we're going to trade you. Not a good look for the organization. But in hindsight, is it the right move to trade him? It might be, because maybe he's just not built for New York. And that is the truth. We'll see. Do I like Cam? I wish I could tell you if I liked Cam, because we don't get to see him play. But I do love Cam Reddish. I'm excited to see what he can do. But I wish I could tell you if he's playing well in the Knicks, because he's not playing. He's not in the damn rotation. And I'm going to drop the mic there, because I was getting pissed about that all stream long, about how the Knicks are not giving him a chance to play. All right, guys, so I'm probably going to finish off the live stream here. I want to go live for about 40 or so minutes. I appreciate it. I'm going to go live probably after every game. I'm going to try to, at least. I love talking to you guys in the chat. Love hearing what you guys have to say. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you guys are not already. I greatly appreciate all the support. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, of course. It means a lot that you guys tune in here and we get to talk about these Knicks. It's kind of therapy for me, because I go pretty wild. As you guys can see, I'm very passionate and I get very frustrated. So I get to come on here and I get to talk with you guys and interact with the Knicks fans all across the world. And support means so much to me, guys. So I really do appreciate it. It means a lot for me. Big time. Knicks Media started this last year, and I cannot believe how much we've grown so fast. And I wake up every day happy that I get to talk about my favorite sports teams for a living. So thank you guys so much. This is not the end of the season, okay? We're coming back. Trade deadline will be great. We're going to make some moves. We're going to let the young players play, and then we'll take flight, okay? We'll take flight. All right, guys. I'm out. Appreciate you guys. Get some good rest, and appreciate all the support. Let's go, Knicks. Let's do well on this road trip, because it's going to be rough.